A very good evening to one and all. I'm Yorani, your host for the day. We are honored to be gathered here today in celebration of Engineers Day, and I would like to wish you the same. We celebrate Engineers Day in India as a tribute to the greatest Indian engineer, Sir M. Vishweshwaraya. The government of India awarded him Bharat Ratna in 1955 for his work in the fields of engineering and education. He was also awarded the British knighthood by King George V for his outstanding contribution, which put the honorific Sir before his name. On behalf of ICE Women in Engineering, I welcome you all to this event. Please bear with us and apologies in case if there is any technical issues. And in case if I drop out, then Devasena will take up the hosting. Uh, we will open the forum for questions from audience at the end of the presentation. And please note to avoid any disturbances, the microphones of all the participants will be muted. You may raise any queries that you have through the chat window. The event will be recorded and will be made available on YouTube channels in some days. With that note, I would like to introduce you to Geeta Ramurthy. Geeta Ramurthy is a chartered accountant and holds an MIT Sloan certificate on digital transformation platform strategies for success. She has a passion for learning how technology can drive business transformation and growth. Having worked in manufacturing, financial services, and professional services sectors in multiple capacities, Geeta has a diverse experience of leading finance, operations, and business in India and overseas. She has played a lead role in helping Atkins win a special commendation award at the Institution of Directors Golden Peacock Award for Occupational Health and Safety in 2014. She is leading digital services in India and spearheading delivery of Atkins' strategy around harnessing data and technology for the next phase of evolution and growth of the business. She is a strong advocate of diversity and inclusion at workplace and takes extra interest in mentoring colleagues to help them evolve as confident and inclusive leaders. Now, I would request Geeta Ramurthy, Operations Director Atkins, to speak a few lines on diversity and inclusion.
Thank you, Yuvrani, for that very nice introduction. Thank you. I would like to first of all extend my thanks to the steering committee of Women in Engineering ICE for this excellent opportunity for me to speak about diversity and inclusion in this event. So I'd like to talk about diversity and inclusion from three different perspectives. The first one is really about what impact it has in the corporate world, which I think quite a bit has been written about that over years. But it is important to kind of look at the statistics for us to understand whether the needle has moved. And internationally, a variety of studies and research has been conducted. And one of the such studies was conducted by Credit Suisse, where they interviewed 30,000 senior executives across 3,000 companies. And what they found out was the share price performance of the companies that ranked the top 20 in terms of the diversity and inclusion metrics actually outperformed the ones that had 15% or less women representation. So the ones that actually had 20% or more representation of women in senior leadership positions actually made a huge impact in terms of the share price performance. But look at India. I mean, if you come back to India, again, here, Zinnov is another management consultant that did a study. And what they found in 2019 was that when they analyzed 60 companies in the global capability center space or the global business center space, startups and other multinationals, what they found out was that generally the representation of women in India is about 30 to 31% at a corporate level. And in senior leadership positions, it actually drops to about 10%, though it is a little better in the mid and junior levels in mid 20s to 30. What I think they also noted is that in non-technical positions, the representation is slightly higher. It's about 31%. And in technical positions, it's about 25%. So keeping statistics apart, what does this mean, for us? from a society perspective as well, the more a country has its women empowered and educated and contributing to the GDP, the more the impact is on the overall well-being of the country and the economy itself. So one of the analysis actually done in US actually pointed out to the fact that this was actually at a global level. What they said was, if you actually give opportunities to women across the globe, by 2025 we would see an additional GDP of about $8 trillion. So this is massive, which is untapped. And if we have to start moving the needle, we need to do that very rapidly, because we've been talking about this for many years, and the needle is moving a little slowly. So for me, another thing that I want to talk about is, it's not just about numbers, but it's really about driving the right behaviors right from homes, where parents have to start to realize that both the boys and girls have to look at, have to be seen in a similar manner. They have to be given equal opportunities. The kind of professions they're encouraged to get into should be the same. And therefore it starts at home, and then it actually percolates to the society as well. So what are we doing in Atkins about diversity and inclusion? We realized the need for improving the gender diversity to begin with, quite a few years back. And consciously what we've been doing is a range of things, starting from identifying the talent that we have within the business. How can we give them the right opportunities to make sure that they are not sort of caught up in the wrangles around whether they can travel, whether they can whether they need to work from home. So all of that we thought were actually holding women back. So what we did was to introduce some flexible policies in terms of working hours. We also said that they could take extended maternity leave, when typically people tend to fall into that difficult situation where they end up having kids in the initial phase. They struggle to resume their work immediately, and sometimes this has a bearing on the professional growth as well. So we started supporting them on that front. So extended maternity leave. We also do a few other things like identifying mentors within the business, whether it's male or female mentors, to actually help provide the right opportunities to our women colleagues, because there is an unconscious bias. Let's face it, we all realize that that is still there, and it will take some time for us to overcome that. And apart from that, what we also do is to really celebrate successes a bit more loudly, because given the fact that especially in the mid and senior level positions, the percentage of women is lower, the opportunities for them to really excel are not as many as they could be. So we really try and celebrate the ambassadors of gender diversity as well. So I'm happy to play a role in furthering gender diversity and actually diversity and inclusion at a broader level in our company. And I really think we still have some way to go, but there is a lot of potential for us to improve on that front. On that note, I would hand back to you, Yovrani. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Geeta. Those were really useful. We have a lot of things to take away from the, your words.